die. So the power of the touch is so important. And I'm coming from a masculine point of view. So what I'm talking about, so don't think I'm coming only one way. How I know how as a man with the power of the touch. But definitely subscribe to Lawrence D. Adams After Dark. Definitely subscribe to that on YouTube and subscribe to that channel right there. But we're going to talk about the power of the touch. So we got a couple people here. So let's get it going. I'm gonna get the caller to come in. I'm in a second, but I want to see if someone else is here right now. Let me find their name. Let's see if there's the power to touch is so important. So important. Good to see you, Malik. Good to see you. The power to touch. So many people miss out on the power of the touch. I'm gonna say this, especially in this manosphere, in this space right here. Men can be so hard. We don't need to. Every man needs to be touched in such a way that he feels the gravity of the feminine spirit or the feminine soul. And equally so, the woman needs to be able to feel the gravity of the masculine soul. So it's so important that we get that. Getting the people together now so they can come up. But if you want to come up, just let me know. You want to come up, you got something to share. I'll put the link in the bio. I put the link right here, and you can definitely come up. We're gonna talk about this today. The power of the touch, man. Touch is so important. Let me give at least my 1 point while the guests get ready to come up. There we go. There's the link. If you want to come up, please keep it clean, keep it classy. Behind the scenes is raw and uncut. So I'm just letting them get my rules. I'm getting my rules all together now. Come in any kind of way, I will be exiting the stage. Let me get my first point off for us with the power to touch. Let me get to it right quick. Here we go. Ooh, here we go. Power of the touch. So, the power of the touch, it builds intimacy. Touch is a powerful way to build intimacy in a relationship. It helps create a sense of emotional and physical closeness, which can strengthen the bonds between two people. Let me read that again. The power of the touch is it builds intimacy. Let me say that again. It builds intimacy. Touch is a powerful way to build intimacy in a relationship. What's going on, Yahoo? It helps create a sense of emotional and physical closeness, which can strengthen the bonds between two people. You know, when two people are going back and forth and they're beefing or there's an argument going on, what's the first thing the first thing they do is they make sure they do not touch each other. They don't hold hands. They don't embrace each other. They actually what? What do? They stop embracing each other. They actually run away from each other. So the power of the touch is this first thing. It builds intimacy between two people in a relationship. It creates a sense of emotional and physical closeness, which can strengthen the bonds between two people. Sometimes when you are in a dispute or going back and forth with the person that you in a relationship with, sometimes it's not the words that you say, it's the embrace that you can do. If you as a man can hold her and calm her emotions, if you as a woman at the right time and embrace him and hold him, that will many times lead to the next point, but it actually will bind y'all back together or bring you back together when you are at odds with each other. And I'm not talking about the touch where you're knocking somebody out. I'm talking about the touch where you just pray. Do you know how many men and how many women need to be embraced right now? There was a lady, I'm not sure where she was from, but she stated, let me get this out the shot. She stated she was crying online. Oh my God. She wanted to just be held. Now we gonna go there for a minute with her. She wanted to be held for a little bit. The reality of it is, let's be very clear what she really needed. She needed some sex. Y'all can pretend all you want, but that's what she really needed. But she had painted herself into a wall, painted herself into a corner where she had no prospects, or the prospects that she wanted, she didn't want them. And then what happened is no one wanted to deal with that. You seen that, Sharice, didn't you? See the lady crying. Nobody wanted to deal with her. She was alone. You seen that too, though, Yahoo. She was crying. She wanted to be touched. She wanted to be here. But the reality of it is, y'all can pretend I'm gonna say it again. You can pretend all you want. The reality of it is, she wanted to be touched, but she wanted to be more than just touched. This modern day philosophy, feminism, has caused a lot of women to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning looking at the ceiling without a man. Some of this modern day crap that's been given to a lot of men is causing them to do the same thing at 4 o'clock in the morning, looking at the ceiling, knowing that you need to be touched by a woman. Y'all can pretend all y'all want, but this is LDA After Dark. I'm gonna keep it clean and classy. Behind the scenes is raw and uncut. But you can pretend all you want, but the reality of it is that most men want to be. What man? Our biological. Thanks, brother. Oh, you more than one. You more than welcome, brother. Most men, I don't care who they are, wants to smell the aroma, the sense of a woman, and wants to be touched by a woman. There's nothing in this world like a woman that knows how to touch a man. But you make me. I'm gonna get to my points, and I'm gonna bring on. We're gonna talk about the story about Miss Davis. Miss Davis is gonna tell the story about her party. Let me get my camera shot correctly because I'm out of shot. There we go. So I want you to really get that. Every man wants to be touched. Every woman. I don't care. 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna say it again. Y'all may not want to. I don't care how many toys, gadgets, whatever the case. I don't Pornhub, X Files, whatever you looking at, does not compare to that of a human. Because at the end of the day, you are human. You are a living creature. Compares to that, you will like that in the confines of a marriage, yes. But at the end of the day, you got to be real with yourself and say, you know what? I need that. See, there you go. Why are you gonna say that, Yahoo? There you go. That role doesn't bring the magnetism that true intimacy from a man does. It's irrefutable true. Thank you so much. That's very true. Most people can pretend they've been sold on that fact, but it's something when a man touches a woman, the bond between the two. I'll get into my story a little later. So let's go to the next point. The power of the touch boosts communication. Touch can enhance communication between a couple. For example, holding hands or placing a hand on your partner's shoulder while having a conversation and seeing that you are listening and interested in what they're saying. Do you know, and I know some guys don't like it. Sometimes I don't like it. I don't want to hold hands. Do you know the power of just holding hands? The energy that takes place between you two, the power of the touch, or when you talking to her band and you just put your hand around her waist, around her waist and right behind that back. Y'all know nothing about that. You put your hand, your grown man hand, not your your grown man hands. You put that on the arch of her back right there, and you pull her close, and you hear her talking. What woman doesn't want that? And it's something when a woman. You ever see a woman when she take a picture, and she automatically put her hand on the man's chest? You ever notice that? She put her hand on the man's chest. Why she put her man? You're like, oh, okay, yeah. Why? Your touch is so powerful. She puts it over his heart. She put it on his shoulder, on his chest. I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes just a touch can heal so much. It can heal the deep parts of you. I'm getting one person to come up. So, okay, I'm getting the person to come up now. So it's so powerful with that. So I'm gonna have one person come in, then I'm gonna have the other person get. I haven't heard from the other person. But the power of the touch is so magnetic. It is amazing. It can heal things inside of you that will cause you to go to another level. This is the reason why society has so pushed away from us, male and female, having the proper touch with each other. Why? Because it's so powerful. It's healing. I remember I was in a place, dark place. It's a place, and I had somebody just come, and they didn't do. It wasn't about about getting sex and sexy down. Somebody rocking, knocking the boots. It was just her ability to touch. Say one other. Oh, here we go. What's going on? Hold on one second. Let me see if I can get you on the show. You on the wait, 1 second. All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What's going on? So I got one of my good friends for 1,000+ years. I'm talking about the power of the touch, and I know you would be the perfect person to talk about it.
Oh my.
Yeah. Let me turn this up and love the music. So give me something you know about the power of the touch.
Let's see what it begins. It can change. Oh goodness, it can change everything. The power of the touch.
Mm-hmm.
I can say, well, let's go here. I had an incident where I was very hard in a certain area of my life, and I had refrained from touching people, and it took one person to touch me, and it broke everything. All the walls came down, and I just began to feel so much love, and I was able to be creative again, just with the touch of a person. I needed that touch. That touch kind of healed some areas that should have been healed long time ago, but just in that moment, everything just clicked. So the power of touch is amazing.
Yeah, I can contest. I can agree with that. I think a lot of people, male and females, miss out on that because the man is over here, the woman's over there, and it causes us a divide between them. That we miss the power of just a simple touch. I ain't talking about being intimacy, even though this is LDA After Dark, but I'm talking about just the power of the touch between the opposite sex and what it can do. You there, Faye?
Yeah, I'm still here. It brings comfort. It brings healing. Um, it brings people back together. Just a touch in the right moment at the right time. I wasn't even expecting that touch at that time, but yeah, it just did a 180 on me, and it changed the course of our relationship. Just that one moment of that touch, it just brought about a change in my marriage and my kids, because then my kids begin to see the change in me just from that touch.
Now you said you said in the marriage because you are married, and shout out to your husband. Um, how important is the touch inside of a marriage between the husband and the wife? Because you've been married how many years?
19.
19 years. We're gonna give her some class for that.
19 years.
19 years. So how important is the touch in the ebbs and flow of being married for 19 years?
It's imperative to touch. Even in our sleep moments, when you roll over, I touch him. When he rolls over, he touches me. And it keeps us connected. It keeps us wanting each other. Just even in your sleep. I'm conscious of that when I roll over. I put my hand on his back, or I put my hand on his shoulder. And when you stop touching, it brings about a distance between you. The communication is not good. everything that's in the house is going to shift because there's no touching. So it is imperative that you touch. It is imperative. And like you said, it's not about always the sex, it's the intimacy. It's the you are into me. You need to touch me. I need to touch you. And you have to communicate that. If there's no touching, something's not right. So you
Uh-oh.
got to touch. You got to touch.
Wow. Wow. And I think a lot of people, especially being 19 years married, and I'm glad I brought you up because 19 years married is so important because I'm talking from a single point of view, but you're talking about a person that made a covenant and you 19 years married. How the power to touch helped your marriage and what you're saying, just being in bed with him, I was just that powerful. I think a lot of times, especially we as men, I know men folks, yeah, we may want to touch, but we always want to lead to intimacy. you
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
know, and
But I think some men need healing too. You
oh,
know,
mhm.
sometimes they just want to be touched. Sometimes they want to be the little spoon. So,
Uh-oh. Okay, great.
okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is nothing wrong with me just laying and cuddling him.
Mm, like, yeah, right. And don't get me wrong, because sometimes it's powerful if a woman. I did a show years ago. I mean, this is years ago. Women, do you have a lap that he can lay his head in?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes men just need to lay their head on your lap and for the assurance that you are there for him. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Now we don't keep it clean, keep it classy, because I know we talk behind the scenes. You a home girl. How important is
Oh boy.
how important is the touch when it comes to intimacy?
Ooh. Um, that's important too. Um, but you got to be able to communicate. Okay, 19 years. What I did 10 years ago, things have changed. So there's, you've got to teach that spouse how to touch you differently.
Hmm.
So that communication and that touch is got to be there. So you can't touch me like you did when we first met. I need something different. I'm not the same woman. So now that's when the communication comes in, and then I'm gonna need you to touch me, and I'm gonna guide you. I'm not gonna be mean about it. If I need you to touch this side, well, no, don't touch that side. Work your way over here. So you got to be able to communicate with your touch.
That's good. That's good. Something I talked about last week. You weren't even listening. We didn't even talk about that. So yeah, yeah. Most people don't understand the importance of the touch in the bedroom. The touch outside of the bedroom can affect the touch inside of the bedroom.
Yeah, yeah. Make it playful. When you walk past each other, don't miss a moment to not touch. When he walks out the room, if I kind of walk past him, I'm always touching him. My hand is always on him. And my kids are like, Mom, that is gross.
Mhm.
But it keeps us in a place where we're connected.
Mm.
And it shows my kids that our love is pure and that our love is good and that we're supposed to touch. A lot of kids grow up and they don't see their parents, touching or hugging. We are very touchy parents. We hug each other, we kiss each other, and our kids see that. And I want them to see the love that we have. So when he walks past, I touch him. When he walks past, he grab the back side. He'll rub my back. He'll rub his hand across my head. Whatever it takes. That's what we have to do for us.
So you're saying it keeps the bond between you two when you have that level of touch between each other.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people need to hear that because, especially in this society, it's easy to get substitute, but ain't nothing like the real thing.
Right. And when he don't touch me, I'm like, excuse me, are you having a bad day?
Mhm.
Is there something wrong? Do I need to touch you more?
Right.
So, I have to communicate and not be in my feelings like, why you ain't touch me today? Something's not right. I have to say, hey, are you okay?
Mm,
Is there some reason why you haven't touched me today?
mm,
So I'm learning to communicate that I need to touch today
right.
or you haven't touched me today. So,
Right.
yeah,
That's simple. I'm telling you, that simple touch means it does such wonders. Even for as I mean, you got kids. They say if a child isn't touched, they can actually die
yeah,
because they haven't got the physical touch of a parent or that cuddling or the holding, correct? Anything from a parent that actually the baby can die. So the power to touch is amazing. I wish more people will understand that when it comes to just simple relationships. Can you hear me?
That's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm looking for
I
the
can
levels.
hear you.
Yeah, I had to. You were the perfect person. I know you would know.
Oh, trial and error. I understand um, that power of touch. Like I said, because there was a season where I was dealing with my own issues and I wasn't touching him. He thought something was wrong with him. Like, did I do something wrong? Am I not pleasing to you anymore? And I had to regroup myself and just be honest. This is where I am. This is what I'm facing. But that communication and that touch, it brought us right back to a good place. And so we don't go a day without touching.
That's good. That's good. I wish people really gather what I'm saying here. And I didn't go raw and uncut. That's behind the scenes. But here, right here is keep it clean
Right.
and keep it classy because I know people are watching. They in the clouds while you're watching. Wow, Yahoo said she's confirming she's dropping gems. Confirmation of a lot of information I always knew. Right there. Thank you, Yahoo.
Wow.
Appreciate that. Yeah, this is my good friend. Been knowing
Wow.
her for years. Wow, I can't even think how many years it's been. But I wanted her to get up because I know she's married, and a lot of times we as men need to hear the other side of the matter from a married woman. And I think we get stuck in just our ways, but we need to hear the other side of the matter. So
Yeah.
I got to
Yeah.
say the power to touch is one of the most important things inside of a relationship. There's anything that you can say to the women.
That I could say to the woman, be honest, communicate what you need. And if you need those hugs, don't wait for him to hug you. That becomes a problem too when you like, well, I'm not gonna hug him because he didn't touch me. But if you don't know where his mind is and you don't know how he's feeling during that day, men need that same touch. So you have to affirm him with your touch. And so when I feel like I'm not getting enough or he's not getting enough, we communicate that touch. Like, hey, no matter what's going on, I still need that touch. I still need you to hug me. I still need you to kiss me. And it's the simple things. It's not, like you said, it's not always about the bedroom. The foreplay is not all about that. It's just, it's a touch.
That's powerful. Man, you
Yeah.
right on the
So women
money.
touch your men.
Say that
Touch
again.
your men. I tell the women, please touch your men. They
Oh,
need it.
oh, please. Wait, we're gonna read that. Say that again for the back of the
Touch
state.
your men. Please touch them.
Woo.
Please touch them. Because they go through a lot of things that we don't know about. They have to face the world and bills and everything that's going on. They need that touch. They need a safe place. They need a place that they can be held and touched and hold and all that good stuff that we want as women. Men want it too. Well, I assume my husband wants it. Let me say that my husband enjoys the security of being loved and hugged, and I'm he can be vulnerable with me in those times. So I make sure that whatever I'm going through, and I'm going to invest that time to give him that touch, give him those hugs, give him those kisses. He needs that.
And so what do you say about and I'm gonna leave this one. I'm gonna leave it right there, and you can walk away from it. What do you say
Okay.
about the long embraces? Just the embrace, just no words are said. You just embracing each other. How does that even play in the dynamic of the relationship?
Um, words not be may not be spoken, but those long embrace, they can. Oh my goodness, they can break things in you in a good way. Those walls that you hold up, hugs are imperative. Those long hugs with your eyes closed, just getting to know that person. You can feel their energy. They are feeling yours. That's that's intimate. That's intimate. You don't have to say nothing.
I wish a lot of women would hear this, because a lot of men need this. All I'm gonna say. So, what would you say to you said something to the women? What would you say to the men on the other side of this, the touch?
I'm sorry, my phone just went out. What you say?
I said, what would you say to the men about the importance of the touch?
Um, touch without the intentions of having sex. Because if you touch her long enough and she's used to that touch and you're inviting with your touch, you'll be able to open up to have more conversations. And the intimacy is just going to make it all the best when you're able to touch her. So don't be in a rush. Touch her all day. Touch her hand. Rub her head. Touch her back. Rub her leg. Whatever it is that she likes, that's what you need to be touching. Because that's creating a bond between you and her. So when intimacy does come, those moments come, it's going to be good. It's going to be ooh wee, because you've been touching me all day. So in my mind, I'm like, you setting up the scene. This is foreplay for me. And it ain't all of that. Just a touch.
All
That's
right. Most
setting you
guys
up to
don't
get
get
you where
that.
you need to be.
Oh yeah, most guys don't get that. They want to go right.
They don't get it.
They want to go right to the races without starting the engine up first.
No. We are oven tiny. You got the crock pot. You got to take your time. You got to rub it. You got to finesse it. You got to, yeah. You can't just jump on somebody. You got to take your time. Rub them. Hold them. Let's just curl up together and just nestle down together. And that's what brings about the connection.
Right. Because reality of it is, I can't. Well, I ain't gonna say what I can't tell you. That's behind the scenes. But one of my moves is I ain't gonna say one of my moves. But one of our moves is I do something. So you're comfortable with my touch. So I'll say it that way. I'm talking in code, but I gotta say it that way. But I make sure that we dealing, you comfortable with my touch before the touch comes, before your help comes.
Before I give you all the strength, how about that?
Yeah, before the windows of heaven be open up, and for Moses part the Red Sea, that kind.
Come on now.
You're already ready for the touch because you got comfortable with it. I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, most people don't get that but it's simple on how you do it. I wish I could give men a clue, but I'm trying to keep it clean and classy on this side because I want to go raw and uncut on the other side. But there's a way. There's a way, and I wish more guys will realize that. I'll say this. I'll give one gem away. It starts the moment the first time you meet her, you need to initiate the touch.
Yeah.
She has to be comfortable with your energy or comfortable with just to even tap her on the shoulder or you hold her hand, whatever the case may be. That right there gets her so she's not in shock when you do touch her.
That's right.
But I'm just talking. I don't, they don't hey, you know me. You know me.
I know.
Behind these internet streets, you know the real LDA. So you know what I mean. You know what I anyway.
Yes, sir.
Good thing you can't see me. I'm all smiles. They don't get what I'm saying, but they ain't picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm picking it up. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, but I'm glad she was able to just give that insight, especially to the men and to the ladies. From 19 years being married, the power of the touch and how it's important to build that bond inside of a relationship, even before intimacy, even before foreplay, tell me this, and I know you can touch, you can keep it clean and classy, you can do how you spin it like you want. How important is to touch after intimacy?
Very important. Don't just roll over on your partner. That moment after is important. It gives you that chance to let's keep this clean. I would just say it's very important. Even the eye contact afterwards. Don't just go to one side of the bed, he goes to the other. Take the time after to talk. Look into each other's eyes, just caress each other. Those are those moments that kind of put like the icing and the cherries on top of that sundae. So you want those times. Those can open up even good conversation too. So at the end, don't just roll over. Talk about it. Hold hands. Love each other. Those are important as just this moment and the afterward.
Very true. Very true. You kept it clean, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying my very best to.
Keep it clean.
But there's some days that you can't. You got to do what you got to do, and then you got to go breathe and do what you need to do. Um, but yes, you still need to come back together, even if you got to get up, get your drink of water, and come back and just rest in it. It's beautiful. It's
Mhm.
love.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Definitely. Definitely. I want to thank you for coming up and sharing that. I appreciate that because I need to hear some. I had to
Oh, it's my pleasure.
that female voice coming against the masculinity is very important because you can hear me saying it, but hearing it from a woman who's been married for 19 years, come on, she got something to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
She
I
got something to
appreciate
say.
it
She
so
has something to give. So I definitely want to make sure I tap into that. Thank you so much for coming up, and I'm going to go ahead and pull you up, and I'll call you in a bit.
All right. You take care. Have
Okay.
a great night.
All right. So even there, you see the power of the touch, how important it is. Just think of that. Someone from 19 years of marriage. Let me see if this other person's ready. You can come up. If you want to come up, you got something to say about this. I'll throw the link up.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic.
Well, I guess they ain't let their phone go. The person who was supposed to come up, they went their phone. That's why I always have a backup plan. If you want to come up, you want to keep it clean and keep it classy, definitely you can put it in. Come up here and we can talk about the power of the touch. You may have some questions. This is the perfect time to get you some water, get you something to drink, whatever the case may be on this Good Friday, because you need to know about the power of the touch. Touch, the touch. It's so imperative. I think so many people are robbed of that. We have become so sterile because of being online that we don't know how to interact in real humans. It's easy to say something over the internet. But there's another thing when you get off the internet and you go into a coffee house or you go into a restaurant, you go somewhere in the park or just walk down the street together and the power to touch. So many men and women, and like I said, I seen that woman crying online who was crying because I feel so alone. No one touched me. Have you got yourself together, combed your hair? Have put on the right clothes for a man that you want can really touch you and get to know you? You can't just be going out there looking like buckwheat and expect some man to be want to deal with you. And I'm not throwing joke, not trying to throw shade at the young lady, but I'm just saying you looking like buckwheat, a many men that you want don't want to touch you. I'm just keeping it 100%. But the power to touch is so important. Let me get my third point right here, and I'm still building this platform with this LDA After Dark. But this next point is increased trust. Touch can increase feelings of trust in a relationship. When two people touch each other in a loving and affectionate way, it can create a sense of security and safety in the relationship. Let me say that again. The power of the touch increases trust. Touch can increase feelings of trust in a relationship. When two people touch each other in a loving and affectionate way, it can create a sense of security and safety in a relationship. I promise you, some of the issues of trust that you have in your relationship is because you lack the ability to touch that person or for them to touch you. It increases that trust with that person. You begin to say, you know what, this person's okay because you trust their trust. You trust their touch. Let me say it that way. And most people need that. As what Faye was saying is so many, especially a lot of women and a lot of men, have walls built up that they don't want no one to touch them. It's a difference from just having sex and someone touches you and intimately touches you. And I mean intimately, I mean they touch the inside of you first in the deep part of you, your heart. That's the difference. So I want you to really get the power of the touch actually increases that intimacy between you two. I wish more people would get that because it is so powerful. It increases trust. Think about it. For you to touch me or hold my hand or even get close to me, for you to trust me, I mean, for you to do that, I gotta trust you. Ain't nobody getting in my space. I don't know if y'all seen that video with Denzel Washington. He was doing an interview, and the lady came out of his corner and she touched him. He immediately grabbed her arm and said, no, 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 no. He didn't know her, he don't trust her, and he has a wife. So I'm here to tell you to even touch me. I'm talking about from as a man. I got to trust you. And we're not talking about the other side when someone has violated you and trust you. I'm talking about when someone. Thank you so much, Yahoo. I'm talking about when someone that you really. I mean that you gotta. Hey, thank you so much. Right here. What's the first thing a woman say when she's mad? Don't touch me. That is the first thing a woman says, right? When she's mad, do not touch me. Because she knows the power of the trust. But I gotta trust you to touch me. Ain't nobody just gonna come up here and touch me or shake hands. No, sister. No, no. You don't get in this space. I'm trying to help you men to get this. You gotta value yourself enough that you just don't let any woman just touch you because you're just trying to get something off. It's the power of the touch. You don't know what energy or where she's coming from. You got to play with attention when I'm about to tell you, brothers, especially sisters too. Be careful of people trying to build a false sense of trust with you by touching you. Give me too much game away. But the power to touch is so powerful. It builds that trust between you and that individual. I'm telling you, it works wonders. It works wonders. Let me get the next one. This is so important. Trust relieves stress. Touch can also help to relieve stress, and tension in a relationship. When a couple touch each other in a gentle and loving way, it can release hormones that can help reduce stress and anxiety. Bing bong right there. Some of y'all, while you're acting crazy, some of you women, some of you men acting crazy, because you got too much stress and too much anxiety in your life, and you need to be touched. I ain't talking about go out there and go. I ain't telling nobody go have sex. I ain't telling nobody. Don't be trying to put words in my mouth. But I'm just saying, the right touch can relieve stress, anxiety. It can relieve a lot. It can release the right kind of hormones in you so you can just calm yourself on down. You have the right kind of stress, the right kind of touch. Some of y'all, the reason why you are clocking out and you stressing out because you need somebody to hold you. You need a hug. You ever hear somebody say you need a hug? You need a hug. You need to let go of all of that tension. You need to let go of all the anxiety. You need to let go of all that strain, the cares of the world. You need to have someone embrace you and hold you. Yes, you do. I wish these people would stop pretending online like they tough and rough with Afro puffs. I'm trying to. All these guys want to be no limit soldiers. You're the stress, and you need to be all the anxiety that you holding in. You need to be hugged. I know men are supposed to be tough and how we supposed to do it, but you need a hug, bro. If a woman came up and hugged you, you probably melt like a little baby. It relieves stress, anxiety when you get the right touch. Do you understand the miracle in the right touch? In the relationship, it relieves stress. You can sleep better. I'm gonna say something. There's just a few of us in here, but I'm gonna say it. Do you understand? I've watched women sleep 10 times better with just to embrace me holding it. Let me say that again. I have watched women sleep and snore. I mean, snoring, cutting some logs. I mean, by an embrace. Yo, at night, by a man. The most rough and toughest. I don't need no man. They they're cutting logs at night. I mean, cutting logs. Why? Because they're being held and embraced from the touch, and they can relax and relieve all that stress that they have inside of them, all the anxiety. I'm telling you, I don't know why women want to pretend. I don't need no man. I can do this all by myself. I got this. I get a dog. Fido, your little toy poodle, it's a sign of, yeah, yes, it is a sign of security. Your little toy poodle, your little Fido, all them little that dog can't do it for you. But when a man holds you at night, woman, with that touch, and he ain't trying to get none, let's keep it 100. Women snoring like they at a sawmill, like they got an electric saw. Wake up slobbing on the side of their mouth. I'm trying to keep it cool, LDA. But I'm just saying they slobbing on the side of their mouth, hair all everywhere, and wake up in the morning and then I didn't realize I was that tired. Yeah, no, you didn't realize you was that tired. Because you got someone that was going to hold the power of the touch. And as Gina said, it's the power of security, of knowing that you can finally rest. So I don't care what they're telling you on these YouTube streets. Fight the power. We don't need no man. We're going to burn our bras. You can burn your bras. You can say you don't need no man. I'm going to do it all by myself. I cut my grass. I do everything by myself. At the end of the day, even the most militant sister still needs a man to hold her. She needs the power of the touch. Even the most toughest man still needs, he goes find whoever he can find, a woman who can touch him. I'm telling you, I don't, a lot of women may not want to agree with it, but that's the best sleep you got when you know that man is holding you. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about the door. You don't have to worry about your car because you know that man is there. He's asleep, but he got one eye open. It's the power of the touch. It relieves so much stress. The next one is the power of the touch increase physical and emotional well-being. Touch has numerous physical and emotional benefits, such as boosting immune system, reduces pain and inflammation, prolonging feelings of happiness and relaxation. When a couple touch each other in a positive and loving way, it improves their physical and emotional. Let me get that. Let me say this again. When you have the power of the touch, it helps your well-being emotionally. Some of y'all is emotionally like popcorn. You all over the place. Heat is on, you popping everywhere. But that touch, it helps you physically. It helps you. You know, there's a study that they did out there, and I've seen it work at a hospital. That people who are cuddled or held at night actually get well faster than those who do not. Good point, Gina. When a woman experiences that level of security, she doesn't mind exposing her vulnerability in its rawest form. Wow. Very true. So it is imperative. Let me help this with the men, what you said right there. It is imperative that you have You do not look to be that security for the woman. Let me say it correctly. You realize that you are the security. That she can now rest in. I don't. I ain't ready for this. The man becomes the security. He becomes the wing that she hides under to find safety, to find what? Security, to find solitude. That's the power to touch. He creates that inside of him first. He, you can see with even homeless men and women couples. It's funny that homeless couples can even understand that. They can have a cardboard box, a couple sheets, shoes to tatter between them. But if he has his arm around her, she sleeps, she knows that she's taken care of. Don't allow these YouTube and these people talking to talk you out of a real relationship. We were designed for that. We were designed to be in a relationship. We were designed to be together like that. Anything else is out of order. Don't let them people talk you out of it. Man was designed for woman and woman designed for man. We were designed for that. They can be homeless on the street on cardboards, crates for his pillows. But if he has his arm around her and she knows that, she'll sleep like she never slept before. I'm telling you, so many women. Let's get back to the point right here because I want you to get this point. Increases physical and emotional well-being. A lot of people are emotionally and physically out of order because they have not been touched correctly or they have not been held in a long time. So their emotions are everywhere. Their bodies are saying you need to be touched. If touch stops inflammation and it boosts and helps the immune system, what is the opposite of that? The lack of touch can lower your immune system. And the lack of touch can actually rob you of the vital things that you need. Power to touch is so important. So many people, so many men and women, excuse me, so many men and women are at home online, on the computer, at home, do work, school, home, whatever the case may be, and they lack the power of the touch. And so let me say something else. So you try to experience that vicariously through books, ladies, or you try to vicariously have that through porn, men, because you're longing for that level of intimacy that can only be had by another human being. It can only be had by another human being. The power of the touch is so vitally important. I wish more men and women would get this. Stop listening to all these naysayers online. Everyone talking about I'm gonna do it my way. I'm independent. I don't need no woman. I don't need no man. We need each other. Going back and forth with each other is not going to help at the end of the day, 3 o'clock in the morning. Those arguments go out the window when you're looking up at the ceiling and you like the ghetto boys. The mind's playing tricks on me because you realize at the end of the day, you need someone, not just the maintenance man, not just the maintenance, not just a side chick. You need someone that's there for you. Power of the touch. If you got something from this, I was keeping the guest that I wanted to bring on did not come on. I can't reach her now. So I always have a backup. If you have any questions, anything that you would like to ask me during this time, if you want to come up, you don't want to be seen, if you want to call in, it's the perfect time to do this. Ask some questions. This is the perfect time to do this, to ask about the power of the touch. Please keep it in the context of what we're talking about. And if you got something from this, please let me know in the chat room. The power of the touch. I don't want to keep it too long, but the power of the touch. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat room. Let me know what do you think about the power to touch. I'm not talking about somebody to touch you the wrong way. I'm talking about the right kind of touch. How important is that in a relationship? How important is that to bond? How important is that to connect with the power of the touch? If you have any questions, you have any thoughts you want to share about it, let I want to see your comments. This is the perfect time to ask questions. If you want to come up, I got the link right here. You can hit the link. If you're on Facebook and you're watching this, and you say, well, I don't want to do, you don't have to show yourself. If I know you. If I don't know you, I'm gonna see you got to show something. I got to see who you are. But if you want to come up, this is the perfect time to come up. You can ask some questions about the power of the touch. Because maybe I cover something that you didn't get, or maybe you got a more explanation on the power of the touch. Maybe you got a story. And I didn't tell the story about Miss Davis. Since my guest didn't come up, who was Miss Davis? She didn't show up. So I can't tell the story until I get Miss Davis together to get her to tell the story. So we got to wait till next week. Maybe I'll have her come live and she can tell the story. Get her on the camera. But the story of what happened at Miss Davis' birthday party was crazy. It was something else. It was the power of the touch. But if you have any questions, anything that you want to share, anything that you think about the power of the touch, let me know inside of the chat room. If you want to come up, it's the perfect time to come up. If you have any questions, you might need to go get some water. You may want to go, hey, let me think about this. And you can't, let me say this, you cannot substitute touch for a dog, cat, mouse, rat, toys, nothing. You can't substitute it. So many people are substituting the power of another human being for everything else. I don't care how much gold you have. I don't care how much jewelry you got. I don't care how much clothes, cars, house, home, and things like that. At the end of the day, you need somebody to be there that can touch you. I don't care how many tennis shoes you got. And I'm speaking to the ladies right now. I don't care how many high heels, low heels, how many makeup you got. I don't care what color you change your hair. You still need to be touched. I don't care if you got dresses in one closet and the next closet. None of that's going to mean anything at the end of the day at 3 o'clock in the morning when you need to be touched. And I'm not just talking about intimately. I'm talking about just held, just to be touched. None of that's going to mean anything. None of that's going to mean anything at the end of the day. If you do not experience the power that I don't care how many times you play on the video games, brother. I don't care how many times you work and you grind and everything. At the end of the day, you still need to be what touched. The compassionate touch of a hand or an assurance hug can remove fear, soothe anxiety, and feel the emptiness of being lonely. Whoa, 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 right there. The compassionate touch of a hand or the ensuring hug of can remove fear, soothe anxiety, and feel the emptiness of being lonely. I'm telling you, I know that in so all of us from being consumers. If you get this, you'll feel better. If you get that, in reality, you may not need none of that. You may just need a hug. You may need somebody not just to hug you, but just to embrace you and hold you. And maybe even rock you to sleep. To whisper in your ear, tell you that you're beautiful. I'm talking to the ladies. You may just need that. You may just need for just to walk down the street and hold hands. Do you understand how they have robbed mentally from just the importance of being held women, the power of being touched? I'll sell you a dog. I'll sell you this. I'll sell you some new shoes. I'll sell you a new dress. I'll sell you this new little gadget in the kitchen. You can have all the gadgets in the kitchen that you want, but you don't got nobody to hug you after you cook it or before you cook it. It doesn't mean anything. It's almost like it is vanity. What is the use of all of this? If you have no one, it does not, like Gina said, it does not fill the void of loneliness or being lonely when you don't have someone there to actually hold you and touch you. But I don't want this kind of man, and I don't want this kind of woman. I done watched older people who have died alone because they have standards as tall as an oak tree, and what they wasn't gonna do and what they was gonna do, and they died alone. It's a sad case and scenario. All these people around the world, for you to die alone with no one there. You may not know after you died, but at the sense in the same token, why would you be by yourself? Do you understand the power of the touch? Do you understand how powerful it is just to be held? And this is the other thing. Some people can't even handle being touched. Just to be held. The touch can heal some places, and I'm speaking to the women. I gotta speak to the women. This touch can heal some places. Let me say this: the masculine touch from a man could heal some places inside of you, woman. Too often we underestimate the power of the touch. A smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or even the smallest act of caring, all which can have the potential to turn a life around. Yes. Do you understand that? Yes, very. Let me read it again. Too often we underestimate the power of touch. A smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or even the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. So many people are at home right now. We past 11 o'clock yet. Who at home you can buy all the wine you want. You can drink all the alcohol you want. You can smoke all the cigars you want. You can read all the scriptures you want. It ain't gonna help you. You can speak in tongues backwards and forwards. So I got to cover everybody. You can. It's past Ramadan. This is now. You can. Night prayer is over, so you can eat now until sun comes up for the Ramadan. You still need someone there that can embrace you. The power to touch, heal some areas inside of you that you can't speak about. The same thing for men. There's the power of the woman to touch you can heal some areas inside of you, man, that you can't even verbalize. That's the power of the touch. It can come in and actually move around some furniture that you have built around yourself to try to safeguard yourself so that you don't get hurt. Do you understand? We have so much talk. We so focused on the toxic side of masculinity and the toxic side of femininity that we never talk about the pureness of femininity and the pureness of masculinity when it comes to the power of touch, the polar differences between the polarities between the masculine and the feminine, and the touch that happens between them, the energy that takes place. And then, since y'all got me going, there is the touch without touch. There is the touch without touch. Let me say that again. There is the touch without the touch. Sometimes it's just the thought that you would even think about doing. It is the touch without touch. Some of us don't even understand, we don't even understand the gravity or the depth of just a touch, let alone the gravity of the touch without touch. If you right now can feel the power of being touched, what you I don't know. Can I say this? Let me know in the chat room. Can I say this? Let me know in the chat room. You want me to say this because I'm gonna have to go LDA raw on this. Let me know in the chat room. You want me to say this? Want me to go there tonight? It's 11. It's after 11 o'clock. I may have to go there. If you want me to say it, you let me know. Let me know. Thank you. I need one more somebody else to say it. Let me stand up and stretch on this one. You want me to say it? Bring the noise. You, Gina. Sometimes don't hold your tongue, Uncle. All right. Woo! Bring the noise, sir. Okay, so here we go. Let me keep it raw and uncut. I'm just gonna cut it. There ain't no additives. There's no baking soda to what I'm about to give. Sometimes we think what we need is sex, and it's really touch. Sometimes we think what we need is sex, and so what we do is we go to that partner, this partner, that partner. We merry-go-round to every different Tom, Dick, and Harry for the women. Susie, Susie Q, Susie sister, Susie sister. We think that it's the sex that we want. What we really need is an intimate touch from the right person. And so what you're trying to do is trying to fill that void inside of you with sex. Well, really, you just need the right kind of touch from the right person. It will set you straight. It will calibrate you. So you think what you're trying to do by opening up your legs, sister, or you doing what you do, brothers, that is the touch that you need. It's not the sex. It is the right touch that brings the level of intimacy that will in the words of Michael Jackson, it will rock your world. Because sometimes you can have all the sex in the world and still not be touched. Touch is the part of intimacy which taps into the places that sex will never reach. Thank you so much, Gina. Touch is the part of intimacy which taps into the place that sex will never reach. I'm gonna keep it. Let's keep it 100. Sometimes you think is what you want is an orgasm and sex, and the reality of it is, it ain't the sex that you want or what you need. You need to be touched on an intimate level. If we would have you need to be touched. You need to be touched because you're bleeding emotionally. Oh, I agree. Society has perverted everything so much that we can't tell the difference between sex and intimacy. Thank you so much. Give an example of touch without touch. Okay, I'll give an example of that. But let me get back to Gina, what she said. Touch is the part of intimacy which taps into the place that sex will never reach. That is the reason why you think if I have sex, I'm gonna get my numbers up. All this sex I'm gonna get. That's men and women. The reality of it is, it never satisfies your soul. It never fulfills the part of you because you have never been touched intimately. We look at the word intimate, into me, you see. Into me, you see. So you think by having all the sex in the world, that's going to do it. And the sex never does it because it only becomes a snack because you were never touched on an intimate level. Give an example of touch without touch. So I'll I'll say it this way, and I'm careful how I say it, and I probably talk about it behind the scenes, but there's a way to touch, and you are 3,000 miles away. There's a way to touch. You and the other person are 3,000 miles away, but you can feel their touch. Nothing I read. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I got the authority to know that. Yeah, eye contact. You can be 3,000 miles away and you can touch that person and they can touch you. Then there's the touch, like with Yahoo with the eye contact. Then it's the touch with the words. Then it's the touch with the thought. It's the touch with the intimacy or with the intention. She can say, "Oh, I felt you today." I'm giving too much away. I don't want to get too far out there. I don't want to take y'all on. I want to take y'all on a flight, the great space coaster, and take you out of a place you can't even never been before. But the reality of it is, you can be 3,024 miles away from her, or you away from him, and you be able to touch. Because we don't talk about the power. Touch is beyond just on the physical plane. It goes into the soul planes. We always talk about the carnal side of it, sin. We never take it past into the soul realm, and we never take it into the spiritual realm when you touch, where you connect with that person. Touch without touching. So the touch is not a physical touch, but it's a touch on a deeper level where I feel you and you feel me. And trust me, you want to experience that level of touch. That's why I've said we advocate. I understand on this side of the spirit that I'm in. Well, no, let me stop confessing that. I understand what's been the narrative: sex, 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 sex. You say everywhere sex, sex, sex. I gave the example of 2 weeks ago how I didn't have sex, but I have the best intimacy with that particular young lady when I lived in Atlanta. And it wasn't about the sex. I can talk about sex all day. I give you some, but I'm gonna do that behind the scenes behind the velvet rope. That's when I'll talk about that, but not on this side. But it's the touch that reaches inside with the velvet glove and actually pulls and tugs at your heart. It touches the parts of you that has been hidden, the areas that you know where you a little sore at because no one has ever touched you. It is like going and getting a massage, and they work the different areas of your body that's tense. What's going on, sir? I'm good to see you, brother. It's the areas of your body when you get a massage and they working out the tension inside of you. Some of you men and women need to be touched. Need to experience intimacy on that level. Like I said, I can talk about sex till the cows come home. Till they are blue in the face. But until you experience intimacy on the level that I can touch you without touching you, you'll never get this. And I don't care how much wine I'm gonna say it again. I don't care how much wine you try to drink, you're trying to numb yourself. I'm speaking particularly to the ladies that you try to numb yourself with, it ain't gonna work. It's something when a man becomes a practitioner of intimacy and not just sex. It's something when a man becomes a practitioner of intimacy or of touch and not just sex. And especially when he becomes a student of the woman, or particularly when we're talking in this context of the wife that he has. Baby, she ain't going nowhere. All this stuff she leaving, I'm gonna do. She ain't leaving nowhere because she can't get what you got, what you giving her nowhere else. She can't help. I thought about leaving her. Ain't nothing out in these streets. She turned herself right around, get back in the car, and get back and hey baby, what you want to eat? Because you had touched her on the level that most men can't. And most men only touch on the sex level. They never touch her soul. They never touch her spirit. They never touch her intimately because they're only looking at how quick they can get theirs off, how quick they can do what they need to do. But it's something when a man becomes a practitioner of the intimacy and touch, and then become a practitioner of sex. Not from what they learn in the streets, not what they seen on porn. Shout out to I think his name's my buddy Sterling Cooper. Cooper. He was a porn star. So he said, "Don't watch porn; it'll mess you up." He was a porn star because it ain't what you see, ain't what you getting at. The point is saying that is you need to become a practitioner of the woman that you with and how to touch her without touching her and touch her by intentionally touching her. She will thank you later and you will thank me later. If you have any more questions, let me know in the chat room. It's the perfect time to ask questions. See, this is the thing. We always think that the touch has to be something about sex. As with my guest that came on, that's the icing on the cake. When that happens. Something she didn't say, but we sort of skipped around it, is learning how to touch even after intimacy. It's so important to gather all of this. Because who's going to teach you this? Who's talking about this? People over there on YouTube fighting about a spirit that they don't even own. Who's black and who's not black, and who's white and who's yellow and who's green. At the end of the day, none of that's going to mean anything. When you turn off your computer, when you turn off your phone, and you there by yourself, and the dog is in the corner and is chewing on a bone, none of that means nothing. We waste our energy and our time on stuff that does not profit us at all. If anything, learn to be a practitioner of the touch. Learn to be a practitioner of intimacy. Learn how to do that. But if you have any questions, the perfect time to ask questions right now. I got to stand up because I got to get another stool for when I sit down there. If you have any questions, it's a perfect time to ask questions in the context of the power of touch. And here's the link if you want to come up, keep it clean and keep it classy. Start talking dirty and all like that. I told you that's for behind the scenes where we can go raw and uncut. Some of y'all going to be able to handle the raw and uncut because I have to tell you some things you'll probably be like, what? But it ain't for free. If you have any questions, you have some concerns, you're like, what about this? This is the perfect time to ask questions right now. So you have any questions, you definitely can ask right now. Okay. All right. Yeah, you have any questions about the power of the touch? It can help you on it can help your immune system. It can help you with anxiety. It can help you with stress. It can help you bond together. It can help you on so many levels, the power of the touch. Most people need to be touched. With the C-19 that took place about 2 years ago, it drove a lot of people insane because they needed to be touched. They needed a hug. You were scared to hug because you got to put a mask on. You're scared to get close because you don't know they cough, you might get something, whatever the case may be. Do you understand how many babies came out of that? Because we were thirsty for the touch. Please get what I was saying is, some of you think you're looking for sex, and it ain't sex that you're looking for. You're looking for somebody to touch you. Y'all ain't ready for that. You think it's the sex that you need. It's not the sex. It is the touch that you need. So you have any questions? You want to call in? It's the perfect time to call in. You got something you want to say? Hey, I think this. I don't agree with you. You know you're talking about. We'll give you authority to say this. Let me say something. Just because I got a great beard and I got this hat on and I got these clothes to match on, doesn't 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 mean nothing. The matter is I have the authority and the experience and the time put in to talk on what I'm talking about. And I got receipts. No question so far. I've been doing great in my relationship since coming across. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I had a great call today. Somebody called in today. We had a great conversation. So you definitely we're going to maybe talk about that next week. I don't want to talk about it today because it's sort of fresh. So I got to process it. But I want you to really give the power of the touch. Let me say it this way because that did come up. Even after a breakup or even a relationship has gone south, sometimes you need the touch. Let me say that again. I didn't say sex. You need the touch. And I'm talking to men and women. You might have broke up with somebody, y'all done got onto it, and y'all fussing and fighting. You ain't nothing but a this and that. You're going back and forth. Sometimes you need somebody to come over and give you a hug, hold you, you cry a little bit, get your little tears out, and get yourself together. But you gotta understand that you're looking for the touch and not the sex. Some people fall into the gap of the touch leading to sex. Some of them fall into the gap of looking for the sex leading to the touch leading to the sex. Oh, I know. I know what I'm talking about. I got stories for days. Y'all think y'all know. That's what I laugh. People think they know something. They don't have no clue. I didn't like I said, I didn't get this grade by happenstance. I have some experience, lived experience behind all of this. Appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. And the call I got, the brother said the same thing. No cap, I'm telling you, I wish someone had shared this with me when I was navigating through life and relationship, through understanding the power of the touch, the power of sex, the power of abstaining, the power of feminine energy and masculine. I wish someone had told me. I had to go study. I had to go read about it. I had to go into the real life experience of life to figure this out. I had to ask questions. So I take it as an honor for you guys actually saying that about me. It is much appreciated because you don't know what I go through on this side by doing these shows and everything like that.